Take two. Just did a walkthrough explaining the whole system here. Or just what we see. So much of this just looks random, but it's not. It's all designed. Changing over the years. Progressing, we'll say. But I walked through for 7.5 minutes with my mic off, so let's do it again. Basic explanation is, yes, it's a food forest. Some people think it needs to be bigger to be called a food forest, whatever you want to call it. It's a perennial system, working with as many layers of those 7 layers as we can, with annual gardens within it. So what I call is a kitchen garden, short-term annuals, because the greenhouses below us is where the chickens and ducks live. So twice a day I'm through this area, letting them in and out. As I go through there, I see the peas are ready, the lettuce, the spinach, moving on to cucumbers and lettuces and tomatoes throughout the year. So long-term annuals down below that is going to be garlic and onions and potatoes and storage beans, things like that we set it and forget it for a while, checking once in a while for disease or insect damage or this or that, but I don't have to be in there every day. And the perimeter is more of the forest system, with some of that down in the bottom of the long-term annuals, because the more production we get from those perennials, the less annuals we're going to need over the years. As you can see, the canopies are almost touching now. On this side, like I said, we have 7 layers of a food forest, going out to the nut trees above us, to the fruit and nut bushes, to the bush layer, shrub layer, down to the herbaceous layer, ground covers, rooting crops, and climbing crops like our grapes and hardy kiwis. I'll pause here and we'll go down and have a look. All right, so we come down the stairs. We're in the short-term annual garden. So we have one of our compost systems. We're building that tomorrow for our compost class. I believe the bear was here last night. Who else digs that deep like that? 1 second. Well, I can't say for sure. I don't see any scat marks. It looks like possibly raccoon marks. Could have been my dog Angel yesterday. Look at this. Covered it up with some food, or covered some food up with it. Already we have that mycelium in there. How fast it begins to break things down. That's what we call it, the teeth of the forest. Oh, line screen there. The teeth of the forest. Back to gardening, permaculture. Zones. So, zone 1, somewhere we're at least twice a day, once a day, twice a day. Zone 2, weekly. Zone 3, something farther out, sometimes not even a zone 3 in your yard. Zone 4 being a nice walk in the woods or places like that we observe. Zone 5 would be an untouched wilderness. We don't have a lot of that left. Something along those lines. I was paying attention to my ducks. So normally I let the ducks in here. They went in right now. Actually, we'll just go ahead and show you. Not the chickens. There's slug patrol. So we use them in the annual garden. They're going to go to that compost first. They know there are going to be worms in there. I don't like them in the pond a bunch right now. I'm trying to get the duckweed and other plants going. And the baby frogs that are in there. They'll have a little swim. Hey, go to the compost first. Get out of there. Miley. Let's not swim yet. So even here, I just noticed some lamb's quarter over here. Even here, the weeds that show up are the ones we eat. Lamb's quarter, I can transplant those around, give them to people. What else? I'll probably end it short here. Let's have a quick look in there. I forget I just came from the bottom. That didn't work out, that video. In the volume, you haven't seen all this. You haven't heard about this. So these are swale systems. These are filled with wood chips. It's probably going to wiggle, but let me get up my hori. Way down here, it's just beautiful soil. Or close to it. Wood chips decomposing. On top of these beds, where it's already done that, I've dug it out and thrown it on here. So we top dress. Digging out these swales, top dressing once a year. Just got wood chips in this week, so we're starting to spread them around and dig these swales out again. Some are dug out already. In doing so, we've taken these little mounds that we're walking on that swales behind them, and we built up these terraces. These terraces are using things like old concrete, junky old stones we find, anything we can find we use. It'll hold that heat and retain that soil. Swales in front, Ugu mound behind it. So originally they had branch material from trees we had dropped, building up these mounds behind these swales. From there we built them up by digging out the swale and top dressing and terracing. Down here we see we're getting more into the guilds with the pear tree above us, the Nanking and cornelian cherry below it, gooseberries, jostaberries, currants, and raspberries below that. Don't have a lot of herbaceous ones in here. There will be anise, hyssop, stuff like that showing up. Perennial leeks. Almost all the ground covers are edible. Lovage, comfrey, lilies, irises, and so on. Another apple tree. Grapes behind it. And a fig. Another cornelian cherry, another apple, hazelnut that we coppice back. Keep talking into the phone, and the microphone's down here. I hope you can hear me. Gummy berries, one of our favorites. You just smell that. And more raspberries, amber autumn olive, not the invasive one. Lots of perennial flowers. We'll also grow annuals in here still, where there's spaces. Pawpaws flowering. Blackberries behind it. Black raspberries. And so on and so forth. Wine berries. Down here I explained we let a little battle go on. I guess it's hurry away. Stuff like these stinging nettles. They can get wild. With mint and other perennials out in front. Going into Sochan over here, so it all stays kind of contained down here next to the pond in the back of our house, forest edge. We just had to top the pond off today. This has a sump in it. The water flows in here, so all that duck waste settles. Talk about in the beginning, you thought we were going to swim with our ducks. We saw how much they shit. It's a lot. But rather than having that waste stay there, we agitate that 2-3 times a year. We pump that up into those swales, creating surplus from a waste product. Permaculture principle again. The chickens come down and drink from it. The ducks love it. The bears love it. They sleep down here. It's another feature with many uses. I feel like I'm rambling on at this point. If you watched this far, thank you very much. Please like, share, and subscribe. Trying to build a little more of a viewership here. This has spoken to us so much in what we've done. We started without knowing anything here. Now there's just stuff like these black-eyed Susans all over, and irises and lilies and food and chokeberries and so on and so forth. You've heard enough about it. But this apple tree, you see all these flowers on this branch? The rest of it's not flowering yet. It's got 4 grafts. That's 5 types of apple in one. Just things like that. So if we get early frost like we're seeing, it only affect that one that's flowering. A certain disease comes along, it might only affect 2 or 3 of them. So we'll still get a fruit from it. Planting in guilds like this, a series of nitrogen fixing bushes and ground covers help feed the whole. Dynamic accumulators like comfrey, even the horseradish in there, even the tree itself. Understories like chokeberry. Lots of different flowers throughout the season. Gooseberries, jostaberries, currants, and so on. All working as a whole. Plants, animal, and fungi in a symbiotic relationship. And you can see up through the terraces and the swales. Thanks for watching. I'm George. This is Fat Ninja Food Forest. Change food better than holiday. Peace.